Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple.
Barcelona continued to march on in the post-Messi era as they visited Athletic Club. Koeman was looking to build on a strong opening day performance, whilst Torra was looking to stop this. And in the end, the game finished 1-1 thanks to goals by Inigo Martinez and Memphis Depay. The XG was close, but Bilbao had the better chances. The XG time map shows what a truly up and down game it was. But what tactics did Koeman use? Let's take a look.
A quick reminder of the formations used by both sides, as seen on the OneFootball app. OneFootball will get you match updates, formation updates, as well as player and team stats, and so much more. And the best part is, you can get it absolutely free through the sponsored link in the description below.
From goal kicks, Barca were looking to build short, and Bilbao pressed high. Two forwards potentially on the centre-backs meant that Barcelona dropped and split their centre-backs, so that they'll now have a 3 vs 2 advantage deep, whilst their fullbacks could push higher and wider. At goal kicks, Bilbao adapted their shape well. A flat 4-4-2 would mean they were outnumbered in midfield, which would allow Barcelona to play through the centre with ease, which is their preference. So instead, Bilbao shifted to a diamond, with Vencedor moving to the tip to sit on Busquets, whilst Berenguer and Muniain tucked in onto De Jong and Pedri, so the midfield was now cut out. And although Neto was the third man, he was extremely unsure with the ball at his feet when Bilbao pressed. So, with the centre occupied, they would try to work it out wide to the fullbacks instead. And at this point, Bilbao's wide central midfielders would then spring forward to press the fullback, boxing him in here. This press structure was so effective that by mid-match, Neto began to go longer more often than we usually see at Barcelona. We did see an interesting adaptation from Barcelona at times, as Frankie could move extremely wide on the build-up, so that Muniain would be 2 vs 1 down. So now, when Dest received the ball, he would have a little more time to make the decision before being pressed. Higher up the pitch, in open play, Athletic Club shifted back to their default flat 4-4-2, which could be quite compact, but often still with a higher line. And now they faced a problem, as their midfield would be outnumbered 3 vs 2 against the Pedri, De Jong and Busquets triangle. So when they sat off of Busquets to instead cover Pedri and De Jong, Busquets would now have time on the ball to get his head up. And it should be noted that both Griezmann and Memphis were looking to make runs in behind the high line. So with this time, Busquets could find them with a ball over the top, leading to dangerous situations. But if an athletic pivot pressed Busquets, now there would be a man free between the lines, which would often be Pedri, who would receive and try to drive higher up the pitch. But Barcelona's attacking shape could shift. Bilbao pressing the centre-backs with the front two meant that Barcelona would often be forced backwards, and as discussed, Neto wasn't great on the ball. So, to mitigate this, Busquets often dropped between the centre-backs, so now they had a 3 vs 2 against the forwards, whilst De Jong and Pedri dropped deeper. The better horizontal coverage in the first phase would allow Alba and Dest to push high and wide early, so Braithwaite and Griezmann could operate much more narrowly. So this 3-2-5 was often the attacking shape. And the central three of Griezmann, Memphis and Braithwaite were in constant rotation. So when Garcia and Vencedor were drawn to the now pivots, a penetrative pass could find one of the forwards, and with such small distances between them, they could look to combine. But as we often see, This structure created a 5 versus 4 advantage against the backline, which could be used in two ways. If the ball was worked wide, drawing the fullback, and the defense did not shift across, a forward or even a midfielder could make the run into the half space to then look for the cutback, which we did see. But Barcelona could often overload this right hand side, forcing the athletic team to shift across. And with Memphis or Braithwaite often taking up the right back, the switch to the high and wide Alba would then be on, and he could then look for the cross. But what did Barcelona do out of possession? Well, Athletic Club weren't overly concerned with playing short passes, because with Barcelona having a high line, the front two had an aerial advantage against Piqué and Garcia, although this did improve when Araujo came on. But still, Bilbao could go long directly to exploit the pace of Williams. Or the front two could look to combine with flick-ons, and this caused Barcelona headaches throughout. But when Bilbao had more controlled possession, they looked to push the fullbacks higher up the pitch. And this was possible because Barcelona were defending in a fairly disciplined 4-1-4-1, so they naturally had a 2 versus 1 advantage in the first line. But it did make it extremely difficult for Bilbao to play through the centre, as Pedri and De Jong would immediately pressure the pivots. And if there were turnovers, Barcelona could now quickly attack the regions left behind by the fullbacks. We even see some of this in the goal. With the ball higher, Bilbao have pushed their fullbacks high and wide. Barcelona pressed the Bilbao pivots in midfield, forcing the turnover. Now, they only have 2 men back, and Memphis is attacking the space left behind by the fullback. He eventually gets on the end of a pass and produces an incredible finish. Overall, Koeman won't be pleased with the performance, as on another day they could have easily lost. Neto's performance with the ball at his feet shows just how crucial Ter Stegen is, whilst higher up the pitch, Barca struggled to create chances consistently. But what did you make of the match? Drop it down below.
A quick shout out to my Patreons for helping to make this video possible. If you want to support, head on over to patreon.com/footballmadesimple and you'll get rewards like early access to videos and exclusive content.
And a special thanks to my patrons including Yusuf Halim McFlurry, Adidev Guru, and Zain Barber.
But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.